Sometimes you don't have time to go to the mountains to change your mind, right? Sometimes it literally is like breathing in, taking a breath, reconnecting, right? Remembering the depth of ourselves, of each other, of a situation, right? Seeing before we react, taking a minute. How do I want to be here? How do I want to show up here? Do I show up like I'm the light of the world or a little bit salty? I'm going to go with that. Now that's probably, yeah. I'm sure I've been called salty a time or two. I want to return to, and I want to say this, first of all, that the importance of this teaching is really a key element of Unity's basic teachings, which stresses the power of our mind, the power of our thoughts, our beliefs that impact our experience. It's been mistaught or misunderstood sometimes to mean that our thoughts can create our circumstances or our circumstances. It's not always accurate, right? Sometimes things happen that are challenging, that are hard. What we say about them, what we think about them is where the power lies. That is the true power that we have, to notice the capacity of thinking, is this for me? Is this against me? Right? Can I grow through this? And if we believe, as we say we do, that there is only one power and one presence. That presence is God, by whatever name you know it, but the nature of that God, of that divine intelligence, that life, is good. It's affirming, it's creative. It's the energy and essence of love itself. And we are expressions of that. And so we want to use our mind to know that above all else. I don't do that all the time. My mind gets drawn into all sorts of different drama, right? And I have to literally take a step back to remember. And the message that Jesus is telling us here is it's not enough to know, right? What had happened is all these people sort of knew, but they weren't paying attention, they weren't connecting. And I certainly can feel like that sometimes. I have to prioritize that. So back to that lesson just quickly. When he's teaching the disciples and a crowd who have gathered there. This is from the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, saying that you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? I know, wherewith, blah, 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 blah. Is it then good for nothing but to be cast out and trodden under the foot of men? So just for some context, he's using the salt as a metaphor for knowing, for knowledge. And salt is a hot commodity still today, right? It can make kind of bland food be amazing. I'm imagining there might have been some bland food at all times. And so without food, though, salt is of no use, right? Knowledge is of little use without application and expression and use. And the tasteless salt is just a reference to a lake nearby that created useless salt, tasteless salt. And so they used it in the temple to provide friction for slipping. But he's pointing us back to the temple. What happens in the temple? That now what has been perhaps the purpose of the teaching is now just on the floor. We're walking over it. We don't even really know what. We're not paying attention to it. He's suggesting that something about what's being done there has lost its flavor. It lost its true purpose. And it's just getting walked over. Laws, rituals, and restrictions had become the focus and had in some ways disconnected a lot of people from their connection with God. They were focused on these outward experiences. And certainly the religious elite of the day were doing that. Eric Butterworth says that Jesus realized that the mind is the bridge between humanity and the infinite. And the important element in religion is not simply fervency and feeling, but shaping thoughts and attitudes. So that when we are not here, when you're not in the temple, you are acting as if you believe those things you're learning. You believe who you are, and you're acting accordingly. You are connecting with each other in that way. He says, for us today, if we who believe in the divinity of humanity and the omnipresence of God don't act as if we believe it, then what hope is there for the world? So it's knowing and living that really flavors our lives and the world. When we are seasoned with the salt of truth, our body of knowledge suddenly reveals a new dimension and a greater depth beyond appearances. When we live as if we know that we have no existence outside of God, we become a seasoning influence in the world. And to live like that means to constantly be growing into that. It's not a done deal, one book, right? It's constant. It's every thought, every day. I know people have been saying, you talk so much about our divine nature, but tell us how to live from it. It's literally thought by thought, day by day. To expand our expectation of who we are beyond what's just the appearance, right? There is depth to us. There is more to us. There is more to each other. There is more to the situation always. And so we can come up and say, how can I, before I make a judgment based on what I see happening or what I know about myself, how can I look for a greater depth in me, in the other person, or in the circumstance? Eric Butterworth says, there is always a reality beyond every appearance. There is always a within to every person. And that is what we're wanting to explore. First and foremost for ourselves, all awareness should begin with deeper self-awareness. And as we do that, we can be that more easily for each other. We can hold the whole capacity of the messiness of humanity. The message also says, take heed, a little salt goes a long way. This is also the law of mind action. As we start to pay attention to the nature of our thoughts, we realize the ones we think most frequently tend to multiply. They tend to have a greater impact on our experience. So while it may seem like, are you kidding me, Trish? Every day, every moment? I know the feeling, right? As we do it, it expands. And we know this best, most often, when we're in a negative downward spiral. When we finally pay attention to why we're like, we have been in a spiral of negativity or limitation or doubt or fear, right? Look at what I'm thinking about, and now I know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, or acting the way I'm acting, or struggling. So that's my opportunity to connect with something beyond the appearance that might be causing me to struggle, that might be causing me to doubt. What at the depth of me can meet this in a way that of myself I cannot? But it's coming through us. It's us that does it. But we're calling upon something that is beyond us and that also is very much accessible through us. It's powerful. And for so long, and this is what Jesus' message is about, it's been removed from us. Somehow we're not worthy of it, or it's punishing, or it's withholding. No, that's his whole message. We've had to reclaim it out of that, what has come to be kind of a patriarchal framework of God as the Father. But his message was, this is, first of all, darn it, I said it. This is an energy of which you come. You are inherent of it. You are related to it. It is in you. And just as a parent wants and cares for their child, that is the nature of this God that you think is off somewhere punishing you. He's saying no. And you can connect with it through your mind by believing this is even true. The power of our mind is amazing. That's the key message of unity, and it's the key message in this teaching of Jesus. And also, don't think you know it all. What happens when we, got it, done. Doesn't work so well. Take it from experience. If we are really expanding our understanding that God is not a person, but an energy and an essence that imbues all of creation, we are never going to know all that. So we should always be wanting to expand what that means, how that lives in us. So continue to know. Don't be the one who knows it all. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, right, of Jesus' time, they knew it all. And yet we're not really living and expressing the spirit of the law, which is the whole purpose of it. It's the whole purpose of it. Don't do it if it's just empty, if it's just become ritual. And this is a lesson for all of us. So Eric Butterworth says, even as it takes only a pinch of salt to change the taste of a pot of soup, so a handful of dedicated disciples can change the consciousness of the world. And that begins within us. As we choose a handful of bigger thoughts each day, fuller thoughts of truth that reflect the capacity that we are as expressions of divine life, we change our life. And we change the world. Does that make sense? Okay. Say amen. Amen. All right, thank you. Whew. So the bottom line, the tagline for unity has long been new thought, change your thoughts, change your life. Change your thoughts and begin by seeing that everything. Listen, not everything is fun, not everything is easy, not everything makes sense from our human perspective. I'm not suggesting that that's the case. But in this understanding, we see that everything has the capacity to grow us more fully into who we really are. If we're willing, right, to not say, know it, I know how that person is, I know how that goes, I know how I am. No. What is this? Where can I grow more fully into the truth and the wholeness that I am here to be? I do that most effective. Oh boy, there I went. 3 words in one. Effectively and efficiently. When I push into the places within me that feel scared, that feel unsure, that want to blame, that want to shame, that want to judge. What's going on in me? And I have the capacity, I have the intelligence of the universe as the essence of me. But I have to turn within to connect with that. Forget all that I think I know and ask to be illumined, to be expanded. Even in a moment. What am I not seeing here? Take a minute, right? The other thing that he says in that lesson is that we are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Goes on to say, a city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In that same way, let your light shine before others. Now, the context of this is fascinating. From the Aramaic Bible scholar George Lamsa that I've referenced a few times, he tells us that houses at that time were large square rooms that would house 40 to 50 people. Different families, like internal neighbors, not necessarily all your family. And light was just from candles and lamps. right? So as it became dark, they would light their candles, put them up on pillars, and light their lamps. And some people that could not afford the fuel for lamps would wait in hopes that their neighbor would be lighting their lantern and would share their light. And there were a few who were greedy or stingy, and they would literally put a basket or put something over their light to keep it from their neighbor. So that's the context of this. If you know who you are, you don't need to be stingy. You don't need to be greedy. You don't need to worry. I don't need to worry about who's not doing their part or who's not buying their fuel or how that looks, right? Just how it looks. I can shine this light for you. Eric Butterworth says, I put this in right here because it didn't fit anywhere, but I love it so much. We can't have our peace of mind and hold on to our pet peeves. We just can't have both. We got to make a decision. Do I want to have a more peaceful experience, one that I can maybe let go of how I think it needs to be or what you're not doing right or what I didn't do right? I've got to make a choice. There's also a lesson about knowing this truth about you. Don't deny it, right? Knowing that you have this spiritual essence of you. You don't have to go preach to other people. Let your life be a beacon of what you are learning about who you are as an expression of God. Shine that light. As you shine the light that you are, you fulfill the law of your being. You fulfill that you know who you are and that you are growing into expressing that and letting that be seen so fully. Let your life speak so fully that people can't hear your words so much. They don't need to. And for those of at the time, those who had studied and talked so much about God, talked so much about this, let your actions be the expression of that, right? How does that, and that's how we begin to live from this truth that we are learning ourselves to be. And it starts inside. It starts with who we think we are. It starts with how we can connect with that. It starts with how we let that experience show up in whatever experience we're having. Let that light shine. The light of a deeper awareness of ourselves and of each other and of God. So I'll close with this quote, and we'll have a time of meditation for you to just consider what I've said to you more personally. But in closing, Eric Butterworth says, "The light of the world is the very spirit of truth. God is no more present. God is no more God is no more present than it is at the point of you." I changed the he, that's what confused me. God is no more present anywhere else than at the point of you. And no one is any more privileged than you to shine your light. And so it's up to us really to connect with that and to learn to know what that means, to shine our light, to share our light, to be and to know that we are the light of the world. And so I'll invite us into a time of meditation. Just a reminder, too, that part of that equation, right, is being open to what is being revealed to us in the process. It doesn't have to look a certain way. But can we be open to it growing and flowing through us? Can we, as the song says, be open to our good right now? Can we turn in that direction, right, our mind towards the good that is seeking to work in our own lives, in our own hearts, in our own minds? instead of perhaps focusing on what's limiting, on what's not going well. What good might be working through this situation that you might be experiencing, whatever that may be? That's the invitation.
I am open to my good right now. I am open to my good. I am open to my good right now. I am open to good. I am open to good. Sing that one more time. I am open to my good right now. I am open to my good. I am open to my good right now. I am open to good. I am open to good.
So just take a breath. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Again, feeling the support of the ground beneath your feet and the chair behind your back. Just let all that we've discussed this morning land inside you. Just connecting with this idea that right here, right now, just as you are the light of the world. There is that within you. That was it. Light of the Christ. Divine perfection. We are an idea, a divine idea in the mind of God. And our joy and our privilege and our challenge is to live as if we know it. And so no matter what might be going on that may have you think otherwise, we are looking beyond appearances and connecting with the depth of us. Where the truth of us resides. As the life and the love and the wisdom of God itself. And so just take this time to rest there. To be perhaps guided, to be illumined, comforted, whatever it is, let it have its way with you this morning. Connecting with the place within you that is of Spirit itself, however you do that. Calling forth and claiming a depth that you perhaps haven't yet to know. And just be open. Open to what is being revealed, perhaps healed. So that you may shine your light more brightly this day. In the silence. Just taking a breath, knowing you can return to this awareness anytime. This is the power of your mind, to connect with divine mind, to receive inspiration, ideas, solutions. We just have to remember to connect, to call it forth, and to trust it. To let our mind be renewed and transformed. To make room and express more of our good, more of the good that we are, more of the good that seeks to live through our lives, expressing in all that we do, and all that we have, and all that we are. So may we move through this day open and receptive to that living, loving Spirit